was really good. We did 2 tarots. Did you want to do a quick strong women that binds hope?
Yes. So yeah, Tina, I wanted, sorry, I'm bringing up my little notes here, but I'm using the wrong finger. So what I really would like to talk about, because you are going down this path, and during your reading tonight, which I get and understand, any entrepreneur who is using their gifts to now share with the world, there is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of, do I go this way? Do I go this way? Do I go this? Oh, I could do this. I could do this, and piecing it all together. And you are embedded and right in the middle of that. But what I want to know, and I think everybody else wants to know, is what brought you to this place of wanting to start this business. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's Finding Passion and Purpose in This Life is your YouTube page, but it is about connecting women, supporting women, and you are a strong woman. We just talked about that. And your goal is to help strong women have a place to go when they need support, which isn't always out there, because people look at strong women and are like, oh, they got it all together. So you are kind of bridging this gap that strong women who are capable, I'm not saying anybody's not capable, but the ones that people are looking at that don't necessarily need the support, where do they go when things happen, when our life falls apart? Because we're all living this human experience. Nobody's immune to it. So you're kind of creating this community around that. And I want to know what brought you to this, because I think it's brilliant. That was long.
Nolene, you need to mute, hun. She's with the grandkids. Strong women. I came to this place. It's probably because I think when you're in the darkest time of your life, in the worst time, and you come out of it and you try to figure it out. And it was like a 10-year period. It was, I left the police department, and for the next 10 years, I was lost. So lost.
You were a victim advocate at the police department, correct?
Yes. I ran the victims
unit. Really hard, difficult cases.
Yeah, we went through a lot, and just the whole politics of the police department and the corruption of it. I really struggled there, and I have a hard time shutting up, so I got in trouble a lot. And the cops hated me, because I was like, But we did so much. I did. There's so many accomplishments there that I could go on and on that happened from that. But I think I told you, Shelley, that is when I had an emotional breakdown. I completely broke down. Completely. And it was really hard. It was really hard because you're trying to hold on. And no one wants to go there, right? No one wants to do that. But when you can't, but when you're forced in that place, I will say I was in the darkest, deepest, worst places for 10 years. And places that were dangerous at times, My head was dangerous. And I had such a hard time.
But I love that you mentioned that, because we've all been there at different points of our life, but we don't talk about it enough. So when women, especially strong women, do go there, they feel very, very alone.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, it just really dangerous, and I shouldn't have been. And that was when I had, suicidal ideations and everything. And I read something that said you had a death, not a death wish, a death something. You didn't seek it, but if it's there, do you know what I mean? And it was just because I was in so much pain. It hurt to breathe. Have you ever felt like that? And it never stopped. It never stopped. And I didn't get enough help. No one really helped me at all. And I had to come out of it to this. And it wasn't until COVID happened and my accident happened that I was able to. Because it was the first time I was ever laid down. And it was not by choice. And it was the best thing that could have happened to me. The best. Because
Was it in that moment, did you have a moment of like, I want to live and I really, really want to live, and what is this going to look like?
it's a journey though, because what it comes to, because it was during the COVID, and then how I came to it, and I went through, it was like a year. It was so dark. I was here. It was so dark. I was in the darkest place by myself, and I felt bad for Scott, but at times I had to send him away because I couldn't help him. And he wanted to stay, and I'm like, if you stay, it's not going to be good. I need to be by myself, you know? And so went through a lot of that, trying to get, you know, past it. And then COVID, and then my car accident was a life changer. It changed my life. I would say if there was a defining moment in my life, it is that car accident of what everything came through, you know?
What shifted with the car accident?
What?
What shifted with the
It
car
made
accident?
me stay home. I had never taken a break. I was so burned out. I was so, you know, you feel like you are, I felt so exposed. I was so burned out, but I got to take a break. It made me take a break.
You had to slow down.
Yeah, for a full year. I have never not worked at a bunch of jobs, you know? So that is when.
And, I get it.
And during that whole 10 years, I still wrote everything. I still journaled. I could, I'll write about it someday, some of those stories, but I probably can't right now, you know? But, and with the strong women concept, we are all out there, and we were so isolated during COVID and stuff. And the things I know everyone was going through, and they were so alone, they felt so alone. But I think we've done a good example of it, just creating a little one, like when Shelley went through hers. We had that little group right there, and we did a call to action. What are we going to do for our girl? How are we going to uplift our sister? How are we going to hold her when I know at this time she can't hold herself up right now?
Yeah.
I thought that is like the action, and how you do it and how I teach it to other women in other communities. It all starts with one, you know, you start a group. In this group, it has a certain amount of people in it, and that's how it kind of goes. Because you start in your community and you go from there, and that's how you change the world. So with that strong women group, because it is a unique group, so you have to have that one person that structures that for that group of women. And there always is that woman, you know what I mean? And I think if we had more of that, I think I'm so glad we did today, because I didn't know if her name was getting a biopsy tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just kind of throws me for a loop, you know? But I want to be there for her.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have that group, we wouldn't have been able to respond to Shelley as well as we did, you know? And for me, I guess if you were doing triage, Shelley's went first. She had the hardest call, you know?
Yeah. But how many times, we can all probably relate to this, as strong women, do we find ourselves in a situation and we don't reach out? We don't seek the support. We feel like, I know one of my mantras that goes on in my own head that I have to debunk is, oh, but it's not as bad as, or thank
you're not
God
dead,
I'm not going through this. So we don't see our emotional darkness or the hard things that we're going through. We have a tendency to dismiss them because we see other people going through harder things. So we isolate ourselves and we don't seek out the help and support. So how awesome, Tina, and you are really, really good at this, that you see a need before anybody will voice it. And you are like a bridge that can be that for people and get that rolling. And you have a really amazing gift that way. I've watched it this last year.
Thank you. Like I was talking. What?
I said, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've come a long ways.